Hello and welcome to another episode of our From the Helm series here at Bell Financial Group. I'm Grady Wolf, Senior Market Analyst with Bell Financial Group. Now, a name that's really rising up the ranks from investors' perspective in 2025 on the defence front for exposure to the defence theme is Electro-Optic Systems. Now, I'm so thrilled today to be joined by the company's CEO, Andreas Schwa. Thank you so much for joining us. What an exciting time to be an investor in EOS at the moment. For our investors who may not know the company, can you tell us briefly about the company and what you're up to in the market right now?
Yeah. Electro-Optic Systems is an Australian headquartered but globally operating company. We're active in three segments within the defense business, in three segments which are of very strategic value and with a great growth perspective. One is the counter-drone business. Second is the high-energy laser weapon business. And the third one is space control or space warfare.
Yeah. So why is a company such a compelling investment opportunity right now? And you've had some major contract wins, especially the most notable milestone one recently. Can you tell us about what that contract win meant for the company?
Yeah. So we are not only active in defense, which is benefiting from the defense super cycle. Within the defense, we are working on three areas which are emerging. The anti-drone business is emerging from nothing over the last few years, given the experiences which the Ukrainian forces unfortunately had to take in the battlefield, and also what we have seen in the Middle East. So this kind of anti-drone warfare is causing so much of surge demand and so much of a revolution in terms of military procurement programs that we are absolutely confident to have a huge pipeline ahead of us and a big growth. And on the laser weapon side, that is something where we are world leading. We are the only and the first company being able to place a 100 kilowatt laser weapon contract into the international market. That is a starting point for an entire new kind of industry in the segment. And it's undisputed that the laser weapons will make a big difference in the battlefield, predominantly in counteracting drones and rockets and missiles. So this will be a huge growth story for EOS as well.
So with the laser technology, you did mention you're the first to ever do it, and it's hit the market, and obviously the share price has responded accordingly, over 40% in one day, which is simply amazing. Can you tell us how, for basic investment terms, how does the laser work?
So the laser weapon obviously is converting energy into a laser beam, and the laser is affecting the drone, the target, by burning through the structure. So we disable the drone. It can also be applied for other market segments. So we are also active in what we call space warfare, where we use laser to engage against satellites from ground. With the same effect, we can burn through satellites from ground. That is unique. There's nobody outside the US with this kind of capability.
So such a big pipeline. What's the growth trajectory like for contracts of this kind? Because you have signed the first contract of this kind.
Yeah.
How many more are in the pipeline, and what does that look like over the coming years?
We are in advanced negotiation with some further clients, but I can tell you, since we've officially announced the first contract, we are overwhelmed by inquiries from companies in countries and governments all around the world. So we expect to sign next year a few contracts. We are very conservative, as you know. We always over-deliver, we always under-promise and over-deliver, and we will continue in this mode. So yes, success next year means to sign a few of those contracts, but we believe that in 27, 28, it will become a kind of large volume serial production of laser weapons, as there are only two competitors in the non-US world market, which is us and an Israeli company. We are the only two. The only two companies being able to offer 100 kilowatt systems.
That is insane.
So that is giving us a huge market perspective, I would say.
Absolutely. Now, talking about all of your products aligning with the evolution of shifting needs, your focus is obviously on continuing to grow in this area and start new markets. But how many different products do you have in the pipeline that investors can see different revenue opportunities?
So if you start with the remote weapon station business, we have brought to the market three new families, the R150, the R800, and next year the R500. So we have by far the broadest product offering. There's no comparison to any of our competitor. We can cover all the potential applications from very small robotic to very large, like a main battlefield, a main battle tank application. And each of those family members comes in different versions for normal ground-to-ground, for anti-drone warfare, but also in a naval version. So I would say in total we have more than 20 different variants in the remote weapon station area. And so far, up to very recently, we only have had one family, the R400. So now we have much more revenue potential with a multitude of the different versions and platforms. That's the remote weapon station business. On the laser side, We have a family of laser weapons which you can scale from 30 to 150 kilowatt. You can get any kind of power level in between, depending on your application and your needs. We are going now to make this kind of laser weapon more compact, to be able to fit it into smaller volumes. And secondly, to include features like advanced AI, which is something which is a continuous trend. So we always need to keep up with the latest technologies there. And secondly, we will also go into a naval version of this laser weapon. And then what is coming next? We are in negotiation with one client, which is ready to finance a 300 kilowatt laser weapon development, which would enable us to be by far the leader in the market and undisputably, and to be able with a 300 kilowatt laser weapon to not only do drone warfare, which is our core today, but to be also potentially in a position to defeat missiles, rockets, and any other kind of object.
Wow, so the sky is the limit, really.
As the only company outside of the US.
That is incredible. Now, looking at your growth on a global scale, particularly the Laser Innovation Center in Singapore and planned in the US, UAE, tell me about your growth strategy and what your outlook is for that front of the business.
So obviously our center of excellence in laser technology is Singapore, our innovation center there. We will expand that one to be able to cover at the same time 3, 4, 5 projects. But we expect that the big growth will require localization. Most of our clients are asking for a localized production line to transfer even IPs into their country, because all of our clients want to be politically, militarily independent, fully self-sufficient and autonomous. That would require that we settle down in all those countries, creating local joint ventures with potentially partners there, and making use of facilities offered by our partners to us. So we don't expect by this strategy to be in the need of strong CapEx or OpEx. So the capital is provided by our business partner. We provide the technology, the IP, and the laser expertise. And the client is happy to go that way.
That's perfect for talking segue into the financials of the business. Obviously, CapEx and OpEx is something that investors do consider when they're considering investment opportunities. Now, what is your revenue runway and runway to free cash flow look like?
So we expect that we can double or triple the revenue in the remote weapon station business over the next 3 to 5 years without any kind of investment into expansion of facility. We have the facilities available. It's more a question of adding workforce and working in shift operation. So that is easy. So we expect to be able to increase the revenue over the next 12, 14, 15 months significantly, to be able to generate positive EBITDA. I mean, on product level, we are highly profitable, but from overall company perspective, taking into account all of our fixed cost basis, we believe that the situation of having a positive earning is coming very soon to the table. And by that, the pipeline is so promising. We have such a strong pipeline in all our market segments that we are extremely confident to deliver strong earnings from very soon onwards. Very
exciting. And obviously you've said that costs are capped or fixed as well. So that's another big element that investors will be very impressed with. Now, looking at that, how do you balance R&D investments? Because you said that you're constantly updating the AI technology and the use of technology to match how quickly the market really is moving. How do you balance the cost of R&D and ensure that your margins are going to be expanded as well?
So we did a dramatic shift in how we finance R&D when I took over the leadership of this company. In the past, the company was funding the R&D by own means to be politically independent. We have shifted that trajectory now, and nowadays we get customer funding, client funding to finance the majority of our R&D efforts. So as I was mentioning, the example of a 300 kilowatt laser weapon, that is a huge investment, which we could not do by ourselves. But even smaller ones, like the development of the R500, it's co-financed by one of our clients. So that is keeping our R&D effort quite low and very affordable.
Absolutely. Now, that's a very strategic way to do the finance of the business and not take on too much overhead. So well done on that. And finally, what can investors expect on the news flow front over the next 12 months?
So we have a very strong pipeline, and several of our opportunities will pretty soon convert into signed contracts. Obviously, I cannot disclose when and what will happen, but you can be very confident that we will have a much stronger order book by end of this year compared to where we are today. And even today, we have doubled the order book compared to 12 months ago. So we are in a very comfortable position. And also some other announcements, not only on procurement contracts, we hopefully will be in a position to make over the next few months. So it will be a very, very prosperous next time future.
We are so excited to follow the journey of EOS. And Andreas, thank you so much for joining us today. I really hope you enjoyed that episode of From the Helm as much as we did filming it. If you did, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all exclusive interviews like this one, market commentary, insights, and obviously analyst interviews as well.